folks. The Field and Garden Podcast is honored to be partnering with the Growing for Market magazine. They have been publishing practical ideas and information for direct market flower and vegetable growers for over 31 years. All the articles are written by farmers who get their hands dirty and know what they're doing. The magazine is still on the same mission as when the Flower Farmer book author Lynn Basinski founded this magazine back in 1992 to connect growers with the best ideas from other growers. There is dedicated flower content in every magazine, a decade's worth of back issues, and over 1,600 archived articles from writers like Aaron Benzenkane, Gretel Adams, Pamela and Frank Arnowski, and Jonathan and Megan Lease, all available on the website. With 10 new issues every year available on paper, digital, or both, you're guaranteed to find something to fine-tune your farm in growing for market. So if you do farmers markets, CSA, farm stands, pick your own, florist sales, or wholesaling, whether you're a commercial grower or you just want to grow like one, subscribe to Growing for Market for the nitty-gritty details of growing, marketing, and the business of local farming. And I have a special offer for you. Use the coupon code WORKSHOP to get 25% off any subscription to the original Farmer to Farmer magazine at growingformarket.com. Hey friends, welcome back to another podcast episode of the Field and Garden Podcast. It is your host, Lisa Mason Ziegler, along with Tucker at my side, and he is getting up and selecting his baby right now to lay down and pacify himself while we talk about a topic, new beginnings and the opportunity. And unfortunately, I think he's going to pick a noisy toy. Let's see how that goes. So friends, if you are new to the podcast, welcome aboard. I am the head bottle washer here at the Gardener's Workshop. As I often say, I sit at the top of the pile of the tons of work that this crew does together, and I couldn't be more honored and proud to do that, and just so very, very pleased. And I invite you to explore thegardenersworkshop.com, where you will find so much stuff. Friends, from the online garden shop that literally sells the same tools, seeds, and supplies that I use, as well as our online course library. We offer from home gardener to building a flower-based business, whether you are a beginner flower farmer, you're expanding your flower farm, you want to move into becoming a farmer florist, or perhaps you are somebody that wants to work with local flowers, but you want to be a designer. And we share the business model developed by Ellen Frost of Local Color Flowers, that is a design studio that year-round sources flowers from within 100 miles of her shop in Baltimore, Maryland. And friends, growing in hoop and greenhouses, we've got everything you need over there. And we're heading into fall. This is in August when I'm recording this new beginning opportunity topic. And we're going into enrollment season is why I'm highlighting this. And our courses are really about education, not entertainment. So I want folks to know that from the beginning, that this is about where the rubber meets the road, being told by the people that have done it and are doing it successfully and are just great instructors. So check that out over there. And my blog's over there. There's just a ton of resources, y'all, a video guide, and I invite you to check it all out. So today, I'm talking about new beginning opportunities because I am in deep preparation here on our farm for fall prepping and planting. Y'all, I've got to take this toy from him. Let's trade that in, buddy. Our audience doesn't need to hear you gnawing and carrying on. Of course, he's got one of his hard Nyla bones, which I love for him to chew on because it gets his frustration out. But anyway, and y'all, if you're new here, Tucker is my sidekick, and we take him with his yawning, stretching, toy playing right along with me because, I am not going to separate from him to do podcasts, and that's just kind of the way we roll here, right? So it's fall, and as I am planning our fall garden, our fall prep, our fall moving into winter, tearing down opportunities, I thought, my goodness, what a fresh start fall is. I mean, I think of new beginnings in the spring is pretty natural for us to think about that. But fall is definitely a fresh start opportunity. And it's not just for our gardens. It's for us too. So before we get into the point of this, which is not talking about cool flowers, but I will say that maybe I realize this so much because I am such a cool flowers. If you don't know what that is, that's the name of my book. That's about cool season hardy annuals, and many of them can be planted in the fall for many of us, but all of us need to plan and prep for them. If you're not fall planting, then that means you're going to be very early spring planting. So now he's going to, oh good, he's got a soft toy, friends. Hallelujah. So there's lots of garden work. I mean, I love nothing more. I was just looking at this yesterday on a walk around the farm. Nothing I love more than mowing a weedy problem area and either processing it to plant cover crop or get it going for fall prepping and planning for what we're moving into. And so fall is definitely a new beginning for me. But I also try to take a moment, even though August is the month, y'all, that, takes out more flower farmers than any other time of the year. I mean, you're exhausted. There's messes, there's mistakes. Your sales may not be very good. And it's because it's vacation month, it's hot month, people are going back to school, people are not thinking about buying flowers. And if you haven't built your business to sell every week, which was what I finally figured out after 10 years, I changed my whole way of thinking. And if you're not selling a lot, that just makes all of the problems of August 10 times worse than they really are, or that they are, I guess you would say. So it's time to take a step back. And I would say, a lot of people are talking about self-care, which I think is just such a great great thing to do. Totally get it. And I personally don't struggle with that in August anymore because I'll be really honest, I have tried to set my whole business plan up that I take a moment all the time. Do you know what I mean? It's like I have tried to streamline and give up and get rid of and stay away from those distractions that don't allow me to get my work done in a reasonable time. So I am not working from sun up to sundown. I don't see how people do that. I work 5 days a week, 6 a.m. typically until 2 or 3. Occasionally I work, on Saturdays I'll do a live, but I'm not farming. I'm not doing physical work, and doing lives and these podcasts are 100% pleasure for me. I mean, they just kind of happen for me. They don't take a lot of back work to get them done. So I totally get people that are all in and need that self-care, and I totally think people should do it. Because August is the month that all of that bubbles together. And it really depends on your family situation too. People that are doing owning any business, and have young children, I don't know how you do it. I mean, my hat is off to you. But now, in my experience, is the time to take a moment and think about fresh starts. I mean, the very first top of the list to do is kicking to the curb all those burdens of the mistakes you made, the money you wasted, the things that didn't come, the things you look back. I mean, we are so bad about this at our dinner table. My husband also owns a company, and we will often say, if only I had done XYZ this way, why did I not do it that way? Well, y'all, it's so easy to look back. Just remember that. It's always easy to look back and grade yourself. Living in the moment as an entrepreneur is not easy. And if it was easy, everybody'd be doing it. But it's worth working through the mistakes and just kicking them to the curb. So that's my number one thing to say, is just let all that mess go. Just say, all right, chalk that up. I mean, by looking at it and saying, well, whoopsie, that makes it not worth it, but really worth it to learn that lesson. So you won't do that necessarily again like next time, right? Just dig a hole and bury those suckers. And I once heard a great analogy that it was about forgiving people. And it said that we should take, when we forgive somebody, you should take whatever that is that you forgave them for and throw it out into the ocean, and then post a sign on it that says, no fishing. Do you get it? Once you trash it, don't be going and digging it back up, y'all. Just let it go. That in itself is something to worth practice all in every area of your life, but do that all winter long. All right. So the other thing that happens for me a lot, and I think y'all are all aware of this because things change for us all the time. Sorry, y'all, got to sip coffee. It is, 6 o'clock in the morning, right? Is one thing that is so easy to forget or to not notice is that this is your business. You have the choice to do it however you see it fitting for what you want and your family. And I want to say that it's okay for that to evolve and change constantly. I mean, anybody that follows along with me, we are constantly editing stuff out and bringing something new in. And that's what keeps us all excited. But as a farmer or a wannabe farmer, there is just no one way to do it, friends. We have, what made me really think about it was, boy, if I was farming, I was thinking this morning, if I was just farming now, I wasn't doing all this other areas of business, I bet I would follow Jonathan and Megan Leese's model, of which is they have houses, of course, so they can get a jump on this. I couldn't do that, but they only sell now flowers in very, very early spring up until I think they shut their harvesting production side down the end of May. They only sell like February, March, April, and May in the highest demand season, and they shut their harvesting down, and then they take the summer off. They are a young family. They're homesteaders, which means they're growing a lot of vegetables. They're putting it up. So they have built their model around that. How novel is that, friends? To build and that's what Jonathan talks about. He does a course for us, the no-till micro-scale flower farm. And he mentions and talks about this. They built their business to fit their family. They didn't throw their family into the business to be consumed, as I did, as most of us do, because we think that's the way you have to do it. So that's one such model. You can pick whatever you want. And I was thinking, with dried flowers really coming back on the scene, then there's also the opportunity. And I knew we had a member at the ASCFG, the Association of Specialty Cut Flower Growers, and her name will not come to me. Somebody will throw this to me, that she was from West Virginia. I think she grew for 50 years. And her niece, she lives in the mountains. She lived kind of not where there was a lot of opportunities. And she grew all spring and summer and dried it all. She wasn't trying to sell flowers and grow flowers at the same time. She dried it all. And then she had nieces and grandkids and children. And that's what they did in the winter, was made stuff. Dried wreaths, all those kinds of things, dried arrangements. And then they went to craft fairs and sold them. There's an option. I'm just saying. And then how about, so you do want to grow a small garden and sell your flowers through subscriptions. Well, friends, the way to really do that is to sell those subscriptions all winter through social media and word of mouth. Be smart. Do it while you're not growing them. Have them sold when the time comes. So you're not marketing, you're not feeling that pressure. These are all different ways to do things, and you can reconsider at any point in time to change what you are doing and the way you're doing it. It is 100% your choice. And you don't have to know anybody that's doing it. I totally agree that we get good ideas from other people. But if you sit down and made a list and said, all right, what are my pressure points? I've got a young family. I really want to grow this garden. I'm seeing subscriptions fitting you, selling them all winter on social media, and then growing them, making the bouquets and delivering them or whatever you do with them in the season. That's the same season that everybody wants to go to the pool, go to the beach, go on vacation, go here, go there, do this, do that. That could be the fit for you at this point in your life. And I'm saying all of this because I have to remind myself over and over and over again that this is my choice. This is my business. I'm the one paying the bills. I'm the one taking the responsibility. I'm the one leading the pack. I'm the one that is not necessarily, I'm not paving the way. That's what our crew does. But I am the one, as was once said to me by an entrepreneur, they were the one that walks behind the elephant with a shovel. That would be me, and that would be you. We're the ones that have to clean up the messes, make the bottom line decisions. Whether they're right or wrong, you just have to make them and move on. But it is 100% your choice. I am not saying be haphazard. I'm not implying any of that. I'm just saying there is no limit to the opportunities, particularly in the time we're living in now with flowers and the domestic market and the lack of professional growers. And I say professional meaning not the way I see a lot of people doing it on social media. And you can dabble, but when you decide to do this as a real business, you just have to do it. You have to step out there and do it right to be able to really succeed as fast as we need to succeed to get to the next step. But I just have to remind myself over and over again, these are all my choices. And then the other thing I want to say is to look at people. First off, I never dreamed 25 years ago that I'd be doing all the things that I'm doing right now. That was never on my radar. It just kind of evolved. Having my sister come aboard, and then my niece Kelly come aboard, allowed us to do more stuff, to help in different ways that we saw a need for. But it's not for everybody. And you don't have to do it bigger and do a bunch of different stuff and grow more to be successful. Maybe, just maybe, selling what you can do alone without an employee is exactly what you desire at this point in time, or forever. Or maybe you sell flowers for 5 years because you want to help pay whatever. I mean, I love that whole, I'm a numbers person, right? I just love people saying, I'm doing this. This is a side hustle for me. I am doing it so I can make, double mortgage payments every month. People trying to get out of debt, resolve their debt, and I'm a huge believer in not going into debt to start a business. For sure. For sure, friends. That's kind of that whole road paving way that I teach and recommend about doing that. But we don't always have to be looking for bigger and bigger and bigger. The simplicity can be the satisfaction of the small and simple. It's that whole, I don't want to get on a tangent about us comparing ourselves and all that stuff. But friends, coming back to what you want for your family wants, and what you can do, and enjoying this amazing life of growing flowers and selling them is very possible. But so many of us want to just zoom past the part that makes it manageable and doable to reach for bigger. Nothing's wrong with having goals. I'm not saying that. But reaching beyond where we are right now. And, I just wanted to say that while fall is a really great time, fresh starts, thinking ahead, all of those things, cool flowers can jumpstart your business in the spring like nothing else that I've ever experienced. But this is also a time to let go of past mistakes, consider your options. You're in charge, you're in control. And that doesn't take a lot of money. It just takes smart planning. Oh boy, now we have a squeaky toy. My dad used to always say, when I would be coming home from a very long delivery route on Fridays, I would deliver to supermarkets. And I would go from Williamsburg, Virginia to Virginia Beach. And the drive home from Virginia Beach on a Friday afternoon was horrific. I mean, everybody's going to the beach. Everybody's getting home from work. It was a crazy time. Anyway, and traffic would be, now Tucker is choking. But his tail is wagging, so I guess he is A-okay. Traffic would be dead stop, the Hampton Roads Bridge Tunnel. If you've never experienced it, I hope you don't have to. There's always a backup no matter. Yep, he's choking. You got a hairball, buddy, or what's going on? I hope you never have to experience it. But anyway, the minute I would hit dead stop is when I would call my dad every Friday, and we would have this conversation. And he would always say things to me like, it's up to you how it goes. Or if I would be in a complaining mood about whatever, about business. I mean, I'd be belly aching. And he would just after a long quiet time, he would say, and whose idea was it to do all this? It would bring me crashing back to reality of, the overwhelm I feel is the blessings that I asked for, basically. But I also want to say, because I see it all over, and, I'll make comments on social media about doing things differently than I did going through all these years that would have helped me be successful faster. And people are like, what are those things? Well, friends, if it was so simple that I could just put it down on a list, boy, wouldn't life be simple. But it's not quite that easy. But here are some of the things that come to mind. Number one is you got to do the work. the work is not just growing the flowers, friends. That is about, in my opinion, about 25% of the work. The other 75 is what most people are missing, which is the planning, the marketing, the selling, those parts that people think of as secondary. And sometimes you just have to wait it out. That's the next one, is you have to be patient. One thing our dad always kind of, whenever there was any big decision in our family, like getting a pet, I remember I wanted a cat one time, and then I wanted to get aquariums. And he would say, all right, bring it back in 30 days. And if you want it as bad then as you want it right now, we'll do it. And so often, I mean, there were so many other things that I wanted that I can't even remember them now because they weren't that important. I got aquariums and I got a cat. So there is a lot to be said about that in business. Instead of just jumping, like you see somebody's gorgeous tulips and you decide you know nothing about tulips. You decide you're going to grow tulips and you just order them. Not, friends. You need to wait 30 days. And if that means you missed the window of opportunity to order them, guess what? That's a good thing. You need a year to plan and learn how to grow them. Do you have a cooler? Do you have an early market? There's a lot more to it than just growing them. And, go beyond expectations. If you have employees, go beyond what they expect from you. Customers, go beyond, go the extra mile. And, our dad always taught us to show up early and stay late when needed. What makes you the standout as a business, as a boss, as a friend, as a kid, as a parent, as a sister, is to go beyond. And that's just a great way to build a business. And here's what I'm going to wrap this up with, friends. Stop complaining about the results you're not getting if you haven't done the work. And I see it every day, day in and day out, of people paying attention to what I say is that 25% of the business, but not the other 75%. And they're just not stepping back. And I just can't tell you how we're heading into that time of the year, into the off season for most of us, where you can really get down to the business. Just do it. And I have said this often before. I had great reservations when I built my flower farm in school. The first week is the first week's class is the stuff that nobody wants to do or think about, or they're afraid of, or they think they don't know how to do it. I thought, oh my gosh, people are going to hate my class and not want to do it. But I found that to not be the case. I found it to be the case that it worked as I found it worked for me. It liberated you to get that mess out of the way. It's called eat the ugly frog first. Get rid of that stuff and get those boulders off your shoulders. Let them just roll down your arm. And it liberates you to go on and do the rest of the story that is what drew us to this business to start with. So friends, new beginnings and opportunities. Fall is a great time to do that. In addition to prepping, planning, and planting cool flowers, it can be the prepping, planning, and planting of new business ideas, reverses, U-turns, kick it to the curb, just all of that great stuff that makes being a business owner like not enjoyable. That's not the word I'm looking for. And it is enjoyable, y'all. Believe it or not, that day does come. But just makes you feel like you're a business owner. It's your choice. That's why most of us went into this, because we wanted to do it our way. Well, friends, you have to find your way. All right, folks, remember, show up, be consistent, and do the work. And happy farming. Ciao. Hey friends, I have another sweet note to share with you. It's from one of my students. It's Kaylee. She was a student a couple of years ago, and as I'm going back through, because we save all these, right? I mean, I have just stacks of them, and I just want them to help other people the same way that they help me. I mean, these are the things that fuel us, right? To see that somebody can do it, that somebody is doing it. So here's the note from Kaylee. Thank you so much for sharing your flower wisdom with us. I knew going into this year it was going to be a challenge for our little farm. I spent all spring pregnant and gave birth to a healthy baby boy in July. Your knowledge and growing tips helped us maintain our sanity and easily expand our offerings, even in the midst of what could have been a difficult year for our flower farm. Our farm has been the most weed-free and bountiful, with the least amount of physical work on my behalf. As a grower in a very volatile climate, Zone 4B in Montana, I can't recommend the Gardener's Workshop Flower Farming School enough. Thank you for all your hard work putting this course together. Our family plus farm is eternally grateful. Friends, speak about challenges. I just thank you so much, Kaylee, for posting your thoughts and your success story with the Gardener's Workshop Flower Farming School online course. And I am so grateful for your success.